Little Sims is the best female rapper we've had since Lauryn Hill. Drunk me and sober me aren't the same person. Drunk me is like my alter ego. A lot of masculine gay men will say they want to look after you and be a provider for you, but a lot of the time they want to control, they want to manipulate. What's up, people? If you're new here, my name is Jord. Welcome. What's good? If you are back and regular, I appreciate you and I love you. It's Sunday here in West London. If I put my magic together, this will be out on Tuesday. I'm talking by myself today as my guest, who was meant to be here, is feeling a bit sick. So big up him. Well, not really, because he's not here, but like, yeah, you get the drift. How are we? Hope everyone's all right. Do you know what? Yeah, I feel like I'm living in Delulu land a little bit, and I say that because obviously, what month are we in? First week of July, and I feel like sometimes I can be a bit optimistic. I can kind of be a bit too hopeful. So like I got the tube here. I was staying in, oh my God, where was I? I was staying in South last night, which is obviously quite far from here, but it's fine. We do it for the job. I was staying in South last night, and I thought, okay, like maybe the weather will perk up a little bit as I'm getting the tube, and it was quite long. It was like 50 minutes or something, but is what it is. And like, honestly, like I kid you not, like it was just like, so like the weather is just like, it's not hitting. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like people like kind of like laugh at me when I complain so much about the weather. And you know how like British people are very much like, we complain when it's warm, we complain when it's cold. I actually don't complain when it's warm. Like I literally want to burn. Obviously, like I'm mixed race, and it's like I'm naturally tanned anyway. But I literally like, I want to feel like, you know, like the burning sensation you have when like the sun like hits your jeans in really hot weather. That's what I want. That's what I desire. And I just thought by July we'd have it by now. Do you know what I mean? And for me, I'm just like, I'm not made for this climate. I'm actually really, really not made for British climate, especially in summertime, because like I'm seeing everyone like moving mad abroad. I don't know. I'm just bitter. I'm just bitter, to be honest. And I'm like, I haven't booked a holiday or anything. Yeah. I think that's why I'm getting a bit, not resentful, but a bit like infuriated with UK weather, because it's very much like there's a very strong likelihood that I'm stuck here for the entirety of the summer. Therefore, it's like we need to switch up slightly. But hey ho. But I went to a party shindig, if you will, last night in South, and like I was on like a level, not like nothing like too crazy, but like, you know, like when you find that nice midpoint where like you've had enough drink that you can kind of socialize, but it's not to the point where you're like moving a bit too mad. Because I don't know, you know, like when you get to that, I feel like when you get to a certain level and you're feeling nice, I'm like, okay, cool, leave it how it is. Let's keep it moving. Let's chill. Because I find that I'm trying, like, one of my big things for this year was to be less dependent on alcohol to socialize. Because for me, it's like, okay, I'll go to an event, I'll go to a party, I'll go to a gathering, I'll go to any social aspect thing where I don't have to drive, right? And my initial, unless I'm going with like a few of my friends, which to be honest, especially for like industry things, is never the case. It's very much like, okay, cool, let me like have a drink to give me a boost of confidence. And my thing is, I'm like, okay, cool, I hear it, because sometimes it's necessary, especially in a lot of these spaces where you're not too familiar with people. But at the same time, it's like, I can't become so dependent. Do you know what I mean? So last night, I think I like probably found like a nice midpoint. I was feeling nice. I was cool. I was chilling. And yeah, it was good vibes. But you know what it is, right? I actually like, my thing is, yeah, I feel like drunk me and sober me aren't the same person. drunk me is like my alter ego. Do you know what I mean? And there's nothing I hate more than like the following day where someone will like bell you and be like, "Oh, yo, do you remember what you said or did last night?" I'm like, "Yo, that wasn't me. Respectfully, that actually wasn't me. I don't know who you're talking to because that doesn't sound like something that I would do." You know, I completely cut. Because I hate it when someone will be like, "Oh, do you remember doing this or moving a madness or saying this and that?" And I'm like, "No, like, come on, like that wasn't me. That was my alter ego. I don't know who he is, but he's not here today. So let's not talk about it." Yeah, drunk me and sober me are not the same person. Because I think sometimes, and that's why sometimes it's actually good not to drink so much, not because there's any issue with doing it, but again, it's like depending on it, which can be an issue. But for me, like, I really love to observe. Do you know what I mean? I really love to take in a room, and I find it, now that I'm trying to change my relationship with alcohol, not everyone around me is the same, which is fine because each their own. I'm not here to judge. And it's quite interesting observing what a space is like when you're not the one to have consumed as much or so much, and then everyone else is just kind of like doing whatever. And it's, I don't know, it's really opened my eyes to the way that people like move when they're waved, and it makes me think, you know what? If this is how I'm coming across, even though drunk me isn't the same person as sober me, I'll give that a miss. But yeah, what's been granting? What's been going on? I really want to talk about something actually, guys, and I think this has already stopped, so you may have to wait till next time. I went to an amazing event last night. Oh my god! What? Do you know? I'm not even hungover. I'm just a bit sleep deprived. I went to an amazing event last weekend. It's called Party 101. And Party 101 is basically a DJ set which is hosted by a man called Matt Bennett. Matt Bennett is an American actor and DJ, apparently. He's very well known for playing Robbie in Victorious. And yeah, so Matt Bennett hosted this event called Party 101 last weekend. And it's like it's full of like nostalgia music. Like it's a lot of like theme tunes and music from like kids soundtracks, but like not like current kids soundtracks, like High School Musical, Camp Rock, Victorious, iCarly. And honestly, it was probably the most joyful, entertaining, surprising, energetic set I've been to in the longest time. I think Matt Bennett has so much energy and so much enthusiasm and so much optimism that it was really refreshing, and it was so nostalgic. Like, because my initial response was, "Oh, this looks really cool, but am I going to feel a bit old?" So I'm 25. I'm 25 years old, and my thing was, "Oh, like, am I going to feel a bit old?" And then I remember talking to friends back and forth about it, and they were all very much like, "But the thing is though, mate, like, these shows are set for when," because like, you got to think, these shows were on when I was like 12, 11. It was like, anyone there aren't going to be that many people that are younger. And I was like, okay, cool. So, and it came to the UK the year before. And I remember, like, you know what? You know, like how like the TikTok feed can be a bit weird and like be quite delayed. And I saw it and I thought, oh, rah, this would have been like really sick. This would have been really fun, you know? And I remember being really annoyed at myself for not seeing it sooner. But like, obviously, like, I can't fight the algorithm, annoyingly. And I remember it popping up the second time around. And I said to my friend, I was like, yo, like, I need to go. And we went to, it was in Birmingham, which isn't too far from where I live, like an hour and a bit drive. And we got to Birmingham like a bit before to have food and all of that. And like, we went to the queue just to walk past to get a feel. And I kid you not, everyone looked about 18 max. I said to my mate, I was like, yo, we're going to look like pensioners. But then like, I do remember when I was 18, I was that person who would like want to like queue really early. Not at 25. You'll never see me do that now, apart from Ariana Grande when she comes to the UK. And maybe Janae Aiko. But other than that, you're good. So yes, we went to go get some food, came back, and then we were talking to people in the cute, and they were all the people that we were talking to and we were near were like 22, 23, which is still younger than me, but I thought, you know what, that's better than like fresh baby faces, fresh sixth formers. But no, it was so fun. If anyone like is like into nostalgic stuff like that, I really recommend it. When it comes back to the UK, I will be going again. It was so fun. And like, it's kind of I think the power of music is so beautiful because like it's such a good sense of escapism, you know. I feel like when I'm at gigs and when I'm at shows, I can just kind of forget everything that's going on like in my life at that moment in time, and I can just really be locked in the moment and just appreciate things that are happening, you know. It was just so joyful, and like the crowd was insane. Everyone was just so happy. And if my phone phone microphone wasn't so altered, I would add a video to this I would add like a snippet to this video to show you a lot, but like you won't be able to hear it. So but yeah, no, it was so good. So good. I just yeah, Party 101 for the way. Let's go. Before I talk about trending topics, I want to talk about something that someone mentioned to me the other day. So like, I don't really get recommendations for things to talk about, but then I don't really ask for recommendations to me. So I just kind of like, I talk about what I want to talk about. And some guy was talking to me and said to me about, Jord, what's your take on like dynamics in queer relationships? I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And I didn't really give it, I mean, I've given it thought, but like I haven't really vocalized my thoughts on it like massively. I think I've done it like in a minor sense, but like nothing too extreme. And this guy was saying to me, this really cool guy, I don't know him. He's just like a subscriber, a follower. He was saying to me, I was like, what's your take on this, Jord? Like, what do you think of this? And I said to him, I was like, do you know what? I've never really like properly, fully sat down and thought about it. And it's like this conversation, this ongoing conversation about like masc for masc and femme for femme and femme for masc. And I feel like that like narrative for all three different interactions can never be satisfactory. So like, for example, the thing that gets the most slate is masc for masc, right? Because obviously being masculine or like masculinity is very closely linked and associated with heteronormativity, you know? And I think when we have a gay man, a queer man, when we have a gay man who is heavily masculine, it makes us kind of question, like, do you have some kind of insecurity? Do you feel unsure or uncomfortable having feminine traits? But then at the same time, I think we need to realize some people are just naturally masculine. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think we should shame people for that. And I think as queer people, as a queer man, it would be very backwards to make someone feel a certain way for being naturally masculine, because that's what happens to femmes all the time. Do you know what I mean? That's what happens to femmes all the time. I think I'll be really honest. I think feminine gays are some of the strongest people I know, because a lot of them face so much mistreatment because they don't necessarily blend into a lot of spaces. And I think for feminine men to be able to be so unapologetically themselves on the daily, whilst being aware of the unfortunate crap they have to deal with, is really admirable, so admirable. And I have so much respect for like just feminine men in general, hyper femme, minor femme, mediocre feminine men, because I just think people, particularly straight men, have such an issue with feminine men feeling themselves and being themselves. Do you know what I mean? I just think we spend too much time being concerned on how people are behaving, but at the end of the day, my thing has always been focus on your own issues before you start coming for someone else. It will never make sense to me. But no, so yes, sorry, I've gone off a bit of a tangent. So the guy was saying to me, Jord, what is your take on the dynamic? And I think Which one was it here? Oh, forgive me, I can't remember which one he asked for specifically. I can't remember if it was mask for mask or femme for femme or mask for femme. I do think though, from like my observations, I think from what I seem to witness from my friends, but then obviously like keep in mind my friends may be very different to the general population of queer people. I don't know. I don't know. And the thing is, I feel like when you have these conversations and you have these prompts, you have to like, it's really hard not to generalize, but it's like inevitable. But I have to remind myself this is only applicable for people in my circle. I can't speak for every queer person on the planet. Do you know what I mean? I think it's really important to mention that because people get so funny online and they'll be like, oh, you said this. And I'm thinking, yo, you've taken 30, 40 seconds of a clip, my guy. Come on. Like, I remember I got absolutely like slaughtered a few weeks ago for talking about something about, what was I talking about? Like black gay queer men liking white guys, and online literally came for me, and I was like, I'm just giving my opinion. But however, with that being said, this is just more what I see and what I hear. This may not be applicable to everyone. This is just it's my interpretation. Just keep that in mind when I say this. But okay, if we want to talk about I think the femme for mask dynamic is very interesting and very uneven. I think a lot of feminine gay men have, let me try again. I think a lot of feminine gay men have this high desirability to be with a masculine man for multiple reasons. I think the common thing is like people like to feel like looked after and protected, right? But I think also the damage with that can be that this high desirability and want and need to be with a masculine gay man is rooted in heteronormativity, you know? And I think also at the same time, I think a lot of masculine gay men take advantage of feminine gay men, if I'm being completely honest. I think a lot of masculine gay men are very conscious and very aware of the power which they have, which they use to their advantage. Like, I think a lot of masculine gay men will say they want to look after you and be a provider for you, but a lot of the time they want to control, they want to manipulate, and they're very aware of the power which they hold, and they know how masculine gay men are placed on a pedestal. Masculine gay men are at the top of the hierarchy when it comes to queerness, inevitably. And I think a lot of masculine gay men know that. They're aware that they're at the top of the ladder. They're aware that they're at the top of the hierarchy, and they use that to their advantage, so that when they may not be treating feminine gay men the way they should be, they know they can sometimes get away with it because they know that how, oh my God, I can't get my words out. This is going to be such a fun edit. They know that they're highly desirable, and they know that they can get away with unfair treatment. I've seen it so many times where like masculine gay men will treat their feminine boyfriends like absolute morons, like absolute idiots. And I think a lot of masculine gay men get, just because you're submissive in the bedroom, don't presume that a feminine gay man's emotions are submissive. I think that's where the confusion comes with, or where it kind of gets like confused, because I think the outlook for a lot of masculine gay men is like, okay, he is submissive in the bedroom, I can control him in the bedroom, I can dominate him in the bedroom, therefore I can also dominate his emotions, I can control his emotions, and I can treat him like a play toy. And obviously, like, this isn't the case for everybody. This is not the case for everyone. I am just talking about things that I've encountered, things my friends have encountered. This is just a little presumption of my little vision of the world. But let me guys know. I really can't speak today. But guys, let me know what you think. I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts. I may be completely wrong. This may be completely out of proportional, inaccurate. But yeah, let me know, because I'm really intrigued. Okay. Let's talk about Glastonbury 2024. Do you know what? Right. I feel like COVID has like ruined me in a way, because I was like, and I've spoken about this before multiple times. I was that guy who would like go to a festival every summer for like 4-5 days on the trot. Like no moisturizer, no hand sanitizer, sorry, that's a lie. I obviously would, but it didn't feel very clean, because I feel like everyone in that field is on such a similar level of disgust and like BO and just smelling like whatever, that you don't really pick up on it. And I haven't camped at a festival since I was 20. That's crazy. 20 years. Yeah, I haven't camped for 5 years, because I feel like after I had that year of COVID, that summer of COVID where nothing came through, I was like, oh, do you know what? I'm going to switch up to day festivals. Because do you know what it is though? Well, I feel like, and obviously I'm sure everyone can relate, the older you get, the more you appreciate and require comfort. Like, I've lost count of the amount of times I have tried to do some kind of move with a mattress or an airbed in a tent, and then like by the end of the evening or the beginning of the morning, all I can feel is the ground floor. Do you know what I mean? And I can't move like that at 25. Like, I'm too fragile. I always say to myself, I am like in the body of a 40-year-old because I ache so much. But obviously, inevitably, when you're at a festival, you do drink quite a lot, and I think that's the only thing that really helped me sleep. But I can't. And even then, it's like you're getting like 4 or 5 hours a night, and I can't move like that when I'm 25. I need more. However, Glastonbury, yeah, I feel like I might have to switch up a little bit, because Glastonbury gives me like such FOMO. Like, most years I'm like, because it kind of doesn't feel real. Do you know what I mean? Because like, it's so big. My dad was saying to me the other day, I don't know what we were talking about in particular. We were talking about Glastonbury, and he said to me, he was like, do you know what I don't get? And I was like, what, Dad? And he was like, how does everyone find their tent? I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, when it's dark, like, it's literally huge. How do people find their tents? I was like, oh, fuck knows. But I feel like, do you know what it is, right? I feel like I think I'm going to have to, like, Glastonbury's going to see me next year. I think Glastonbury's going to see me next year, to be honest, because it's one of those things where I need to do it once, and like, I'm not getting younger. Do you know what I mean? And there's no way in hell I will be doing it after the age of 30. So like, I'm going to like try and see if there's a way that I can do an airbed. Or my friend was telling me that she and her boyfriend are going to do this thing. What's it called? Where you have like a stick, it's like a 2 wooden stick type of thing. It holds up the tent, and it's like what's that shape called? Triangular type of shape. So she was going to do that, which probably sounds a bit better, because I think half of the challenge is actually getting a tent that stays up properly. But I think Glastonbury will be seeing me next year, because I believe the year after they're not doing it to give the ground a break for the grass to recover for a year, which I get, because it must be quite overwhelming for the grass to have like hundreds of thousands of people. Or maybe tens of thousands of people, sorry. Actually, let me figure out quickly how many people go to Glastonbury. How many people attend? Oh, 200,000. Okay. So yeah, it definitely needs a break for a year. Probably even more, to be honest. But yeah, so I think Glastonbury will be seeing me next year, which is really, really exciting. But let's talk about it. And I love the concept and the art. Well, yeah, no, I do love the concept. I love the idea of Glastonbury because it's so heavily catered to everyone. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could literally, and that's the beauty of it, because you have to get a ticket before the lineup comes out. But Glastonbury is so versatile and has such a big range. there's a very slim chance that there's going to not be people that you don't mess with. Do you know what I mean? It has like so many ranges of genres. Because even when I thought about it and when my friends mentioned it, I thought, well, I'm definitely going to like someone. Do you know what I mean? I'm definitely going to like multiple people. They have like so many acts, and I think it's fun to discover new people too. I don't know how I feel about the pyramid stage though. Not even about being in the pyramid stage, but trying to get out. Like, imagine if I saw this thing about how, because Dua Lipa headlined on the Friday, for her set was amazing. We'll get into that. And I saw this, and Charlie XCX did a DJ set like very shortly after. But I think those dance tents, forgive me if I'm wrong, I've never been to Glastonbury. I believe those dance tents are quite small. So trying to leave Dua's set, which obviously would have been stupidly big, and trying to like rustle out of that crowd to then get to Charlie's set would have been too overstimulating for me, to be honest, unless I was at the very back. But I appreciate the hustle. But yeah, I think, okay, so let's talk about the performances. So who stood out to me? Where to start? To be honest with you, I haven't even watched all of the sets that I wanted to, purely because, like I said, there's so much going on. I just didn't know where. Oh my God. There was so much going on. I just didn't know where to start. But obviously I thought the main thing for me was to tackle the headliners. And okay, let's start there. Do you know what, right? Dua Lipa's improvement as a performer is actually unrecognizable. Her, like, the way that she has dealt with the critique she's been given to become an amazing performer is actually like rare and unheard of. A lot of people, and I love Dua Lipa because she's so humble, and she's so great. You can tell that she's really grateful to be where she is, and I love that. I think she's an incredible performer. I think Dua Lipa's set was amazing, and Dua Lipa's so interesting, right? Because like she's done amazingly well. Well, point blank, amazingly well, but also amazingly well for a British artist. I think there's such a weird blurred line between how much success that a British artist, particularly a woman as well, can actually achieve. And I think there aren't many female British artists that have been able to not also maintain their success within the UK, but then to go global on a crazy level. Do you know what I mean? There's not many like prominent. If you think about it, who is there really? And I don't mean this to and there's so much talent in the UK, but we don't always have the best strategics when it comes to widening that audience and moving outside of the UK. Because when I think about female artists who are like crazy famous, Dua Lipa, obviously, Ray, Adele, Ellie Goulding. I want to say Rita Ora, but she's a bit, and I love Rita Ora, so don't get it twisted, but Rita Ora, she's really famous. What am I talking about? Is there anyone else that, I'm a bit biased with some people that I want to say, but I don't want to say that. Okay, famous UK British artists, female. Oh, it's gone cold. Chris, can you think of anybody? Yeah, to be fair, there's Charlie XCX. Oh my God, Charlie XCX. Do you know what, right? I'm like not the biggest Charlie stan, but her new album Brat, oh my God, incredible. But yeah, and that's for another day. But no, Dua Lipa, I thought her performance was absolutely amazing. She's so interesting because she's not really one who like belts, but her voice and her tone is so unique and so different. I think she has a beautiful voice. It's very like low, but her tone is really pretty. And I think I love her music. Her music's just really fun. She has really fun music. And like, I am such a Tame Impala stan. So when they did the Less I Know The Better cover, I thought, oh my God, like it was, and like Dua has like their voices blended very well together. I feel like sometimes with covers, and I love The Less I Know The Better so much. So my thing is, I was a bit like, oh, do I really want to hear this? Because I heard it. I heard obviously like the tune for Kevin Parker to walk on stage and all of that, and I was like, oh, do you know what? Do I actually really want to hear this? But I was like, yo, this is actually sick. This is so good. I love this. But I'm so proud of Dua Lipa. I think also the fact that she's only released 3 albums and she's headlining Glastonbury. Like, the world is her oyster, and I'm rooting for her success. And I just love Dua Lipa, and I'm proud of her success. I'm proud of her growth as an artist. And do you know what I mean? The world's her oyster. She's only going to get bigger and better, and I absolutely love that for her. Big up Dua Lipa. Okay, who else? Coldplay. Coldplay's gigs don't even look real. Do you know what I mean? Just visuals alone, it just like looks like a bit of a trip. Coldplay is very nostalgic for me. I don't really mess with new Coldplay stuff. There's nothing before, or sorry, after 2014 that I'm really riding for. But that doesn't discredit their legacy and their talent. And I think, their gig was cool. I would love to see Coldplay, but it's one of those ones, right, where like, I love Coldplay, but I wouldn't pay to see them. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, no, I love Coldplay, but I wouldn't pay a lot to see them. Like, you know, the ones where like, obviously if Coldplay were at a festival I would go and make time to see part of their set without a doubt, because they are one of the best bands that Britain has ever made. However, I wouldn't pay to see them just because they're not. Concerts have gotten very expensive, and I have to like really, really ride for you to pay for an individual like headline solo show / tour. But no, I think Coldplay. I think their show looked insane. Like, just for lights alone would have been enough for me, to be honest. But then the fact they had like all this really like all like their like classic tunes just kind of added to it. But big up Coldplay. Who else headlined? I know SZA did, but I want to go on to her after. Who else headlined Glastonbury? And I know for a fact I didn't watch any of their sets. Because like I said to you before, there's too much going on. Like, there was just too much to watch. And these sets are actually all really long. Like, even the ones that weren't headliners were like an hour long. And I thought, how am I going to find the Shania Twain? So I didn't watch Shania Twain, but I heard that her set wasn't very good. But I don't know if that's true. Oh no, that was Cyndi Lauper. Or Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yeah, to be fair, I didn't watch any of these, I'm not going to lie, so I can't even comment, but big up them. Hey, let's talk about SZA. I will not stand for SZA slander, right? I do not know if it was the best idea for her to headline Glastonbury, I'll be very honest. And that's no discredit to her, because why would you turn on a check? That's no discredit to her. I think SZA is a very acquired taste. And it's interesting because someone said something online the other day and they were like, high streams doesn't equate to big crowds, which I thought was I'm a bit mediocre about that comment, because I'm sorry, SZA is one of the best R&B artists of the 21st century. There's no debate, there's no doubt, there's no in between. SZA is one of the most talented artists. Well, artists alone. SZA is one of the most talented artists of the 21st century. There's no doubt in that. However, she is an R&B artist. Therefore, R&B is very acquired and very selective, right? And when you think about Glastonbury, right? Because SZA has a very young demographic, right? Her like audience predominantly is late teens to like middle-aged, like 30s, right? So, and you have to think, Glastonbury has such a wide age demographic, and you can obviously, because Dua Lipa and Coldplay are more mainstream, it made sense why their audiences were a lot more bigger. But I think I will not stand for her talent and her legacy being critiqued, because a lot of people are like, oh, who's SZA? How does she headline? But if you actually watch it, her crowd was mad. Her crowd were very engaged. They were singing back and forth. There are some shows you watch, right, and the crowd can't sing the words back because they don't know it. Do you know what I mean? SZA has a very stable, loyal fan base. Do you know what I mean? I'll be real. SOS is probably one of the best albums to be released in the 2020s. And that's not even me being biased. Like, listen to SOS. SZA is one of the best, like, writers living, easily. And I just think, like, I don't know if it was the best idea for her to headline. And that's no discredit to her. That's just the fact that I know that because she's American and because she's acquired, it may not have been the best bet. And because of the demographic, if the demographic had been for like a younger audience, I think she would have killed it. Because I think she did Hyde Park like a few days or a week before, or was it after? I think it was before. I could be wrong. Don't check me on that. And that was full blast out. Do you know what I mean? So she's very capable of like doing sellout shows. But I think the criticism has been unnecessarily harsh, because you can, okay, maybe it didn't feel the way it should have, but don't come for her talent. I thought her set was great. I love SZA. I think her music is so long lasting, so beautiful, so meaningful. I think her talent is very unmatched. She has like very beautiful songwriting, and her set was beautiful. I've never seen SZA do bad performances, to be honest. And maybe I'm being slightly biased because I do love SZA, but I don't know if it was the best idea for her to headline for the Pyramid stage. I think because a lot of people were saying Avril Lavigne should have done it instead, which makes sense because Avril Lavigne has been around for a lot longer and has probably a wider audience range. So I do hear that. But yeah, I thought her set was great. I loved her set. I thought it was really fucking good. I'll be so real. I thought it was really fucking good. I think she knows how to interact with a crowd. She knows how to engage. Do you know what I mean? She knows how to keep people entertained. And you have to think also, it was a Sunday night. Like, surely a Sunday night is always going to have like a bit less traction. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like people have been too harsh. Like, give my girl a break. Be real. Give my girl a fucking break. A lot of people were saying that Avril Lavigne should have headlined instead, which makes sense because Avril's been around for a really long time, and she does have because you got to think her career is like 20 years long, so she's probably got an older audience as well as, and I think young people are picking up her music too. So I do get that. I think Avril's set looked really fun. I'm not a crazy Avril fan, to be honest, but I like the influence that she has and she has had on a lot of alternative artists. And I think having influence is what allows you to be a legend in music. Do you know what I mean? And Avril Lavigne 100% does have that status, you know? There's not really much more to say on that, but I enjoyed her set. It looked fun. Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. I think Little Sims, yeah, that woman is absolutely incredible. Her talent is unmatched. Her flow, her delivery, her artistry, her discography, everything about Little Sims is just so effortlessly beautiful, but at the same time it's so well thought out and so well constructed and so monumental. I think Little Sims is one of the most talented rappers alive. And I think the only reason why, and obviously she's big and she has a lot of credit, but I think the only reason why she isn't as big as she should, could, would, or will be is because she's a woman. Even though, obviously, like, I mean that with the most respect, but even though she is co-signed by a lot of the male peers in the industry, the only reason why she isn't like on the same levels as like Dave, Stormzy, Jay Huss is because she's a girl. Do you know what I mean? But even though all of those guys do mess with her, I think Little Sims is the best female rapper we've had since Lauryn Hill. Do you know what I mean? I think when someone says to me, who are the best, if someone was to say to me, who are the best two female rappers ever? Like Lauryn Hill, then Lil Sims. Do you know what I mean? They're just on very similar levels. And I feel like I love female rap. I love female rap so much. But I think Lauren and Sims, their storytelling is very different to mainstream rap girls, and that's no shade to them. I love the main rap girls. I love Nicki. I love Megan. I love Iggy. Who else is there? Megan. Who else is there? Megan, Nicki, Iggy. I can't think of who else is, but I love female rap. But I just think what Little Sims and Lauren have brought to the industry is so much different. And I'm so excited for Little Sims. I'm so excited for her growth and her evolution. Evolution, is that the right? I feel like evolution isn't the right word, but I can't think of what it is. I'm so excited for her growth as an artist. Her set was just so soothing, and her flow is unmatched. Like it's just mad. Like she's so multi-skilled and she's so good at what she does. And I think she stayed so true to her ground. I think when people get established in this space, they can sometimes switch it up, and a lot of the time it's not for the better. It's like stick to the roots that made you famous or gave you recognition in the first place. Yeah, I think her set was great. I've seen Little Sims live before. I saw her live at Park Life last year, yeah, 2023, and her set was brilliant. Her set was absolutely brilliant. I cannot wait to see her again. She's unmatched. She is one of, if not the best rapper in the UK. Big up Little Sims every Black Lad time. Who else have I got to talk about? Yeah, and my last one, Two Door Cinema Club. Two Door Cinema Club, right? They have like very like, their music just gives me summer vibes. Do you know what I mean? I've seen Two Door Cinema Club live so many times. I've actually lost count. I want to say about 5 or 6. They're just like feel good music, and like they never miss. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone knows their music is so nostalgic. Everyone loves it. You know what you're getting with them. Do you know what I mean? Like okay, like obviously I love them, so I'm a bit biased, but like they're not really the type to give you like many surprises. And I don't mean that in a horrible way, because I love what they do. I love their music so much. They're one of my favorite bands. They were my favorite band for a very long time, but I think Tame Impala has taken the spot. But yeah, their set was great. If there's any, for people that have made it this far in, if there's any sets that I should have watched, please like send them my way, because those are the notable mentions to me. So Dua Lipa, Little Sims, Two Door Cinema Club, SZA, and Coldplay. Obviously that's quite mainstream. I wasn't really messing with the rappers this year. I liked Gets's one was actually pretty cool. So was Burna Boy's, but I wasn't like overly fussed. But yeah. Right guys, so on to the last part. So, trending topic, the most popular show currently in the UK. Let's talk about Love Island. I don't even know where to start, to be honest. I feel like my relationship with Love Island is probably just as bad as the people in there now. Like the islanders, that's how rough it is. I feel like, you know what it is? I slate Love Island so much, yeah, because like every year I'm like, oh my God, I'm not tuning in. But like, I don't know what I would do in the summer without it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's my comfort. I feel like I really loved last year's. I loved last year's, and this one really is. This one comes in waves, yeah. Like I feel like there's so many things that just shouldn't be put in place. But then like, I don't know. I have a really weird relationship with Love Island. But okay, let's start. I think if someone was to say to me right now, who do you want to win? I'd literally say none of them. There isn't a couple that I think, oh, I really mess with you. I really subscribe to you. And that's usually because there's one of them I don't like. Do you know what I mean? Like it's usually because I like a lot of them as like individuals or singles, but I don't like that other half. I'm like, I'm not really subscribing to you. I'm not messing with you. But I just think that Love Island is very. Tell you what, though, I will give creds where due, because they have done very well at trying to switch it up. Because I think we were getting to a point where people were complaining, oh, Love Island is so predictable. The same thing happens ongoingly every year. And I think the producers do deserve their flowers, because they have made a very good attempt to make it different, so it's not very repetitive, even though it somewhat is, but isn't. And I will give them creds where due. I do think they have made a good attempt, and we have to acknowledge and applaud that. But like, there are just certain things that I just think that like we just need to cut completely. Like, I'm sorry, Joey Essex going into Love Island makes no sense to me. One, the man is literally like 10 years their senior. also this man's already got an established career, and we have to appreciate and realize Love Island does create career opportunities for a lot of people, and I think we just have to accept it. Do you know what I mean? Like I think we have to. I think we're a bit naive to not think that Love Island doesn't. A lot of people don't. I think we're a bit naive to not appreciate and acknowledge that people will not go into Love Island for careers. And I just think, do you know what? If it gets you to where you need to be, fair enough. And I really respect people that acknowledge it afterwards, because there's so many people like, no, didn't do it for that. And I'm thinking, do you know what? I actually think there's no issue with admitting it. I think there was one girl on the winter season last year, and she was like, yeah, I did. And I thought, do you know what? Applauds to you, because most of your housemates, other islanders wouldn't say the same. They quite clearly were. Do you know what I mean? But I think for Joey Essex, who already has career and recognition as a TV personality, media personality, it just doesn't really make sense for him to be there, to be honest. I don't really mess with him either. But let's talk about Casa Amor. And do you know what, right? Love Island actually makes me understand why some girls do not let their boyfriends go on holiday. Like a boys' holiday. I actually get it, because the way that some of these guys move is absolutely mad. Because the thing is, right, there is a way to explore a connection without like taking the piss. Do you know what I mean? There's a way to explore connections without locking lips and like spooning in bed. I just feel like it just feels like when Casa Amor takes place, the level of respect these guys had for these girls they've known for weeks completely drops, and it feels like what do you need? Why do you need to move so mad for someone you've known for 3 nights? Do you know what I mean? And why are you willing to sacrifice what you have at home, which is substantial, for someone whose surname you probably don't even know? It doesn't make sense to me, and I just think they're so apologetic when they come back. It's like, yo, just keep it a level. Like, a lot, to be fair to the girls, apart from Jess, but Jess and the guy, Trey is his name, they weren't really like solid, so it's slightly different. But I just kind of think like there can be a respectful way of like linking or even getting to know someone without taking the piss out of the other person. Because I feel like people seem to forget that people have feelings, and this is why you just can't trust that many men. Like, point blank, this is why you can't trust that many men. Like, I'll be real, like, Mimi is a much better person than me, 100%. Like, that girl she's quite clearly using her nurse degree skills to the max. Because trust me, if I've been talking to someone and we've been connecting for around a month, and then I come back in and I see you chirping and canoodling and getting close to some other babe, I would literally lose my rag. I would lose my shit. Do you know what I mean? And I think Mimi is better than most of us. She's so well, how do I word this? She's so well put together. Do you know what I mean? And she doesn't react the way that most people would, and she needs her flowers for that, because she's better than most of us. I would go absolutely. I honestly, like, Maya Jama would have to pull me back herself, because I would literally be like going to claw. Like, honestly, Mimi, you're a better babe than most of us. Like, creds to you. And I pray, as God as my witness, Love Island producers, please bring in the sexiest black man alive for Mimi. She deserves someone who wants to give her full attention from the jump, not some man who's like picking and choosing when he feels like it. Come on, she is a 10 out of 10 babe. I'm like, literally, if there's anything that I can do, please bring in the most beautiful black man that you know for Mimi, because she deserves a nice guy. And her face card is, I mean, to be fair, the girl Jess is very pretty. Jess and they do look nice together, and she's done nothing wrong, because she has no loyalties to Mimi. She doesn't know her, but like, Mimi's face card is actually unbelievable. Please just give this girl a guy, I swear. But like, I just really hope, because I think the common thing is, right, when people don't match back together after Casa Amor, they have a bit of a tiff and then they get back together. I'm really hoping this isn't the same. I'm really hoping Mimi sticks her ground and says, no, I don't mess with you. keep out of my way. Because at the moment she's very much like, yeah, not happening. Like, please keep the energy up, which is why we really need some guy to come in before he can slip his fingers back in. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I'm praying. But like Io, yeah, he's just like, men like Io are the reason why people have trust issues, because my man's been feeding Mimi like a love story since day dot, from the jump, right? Okay, Uma was like in the middle, but even so, still a guy can reassure you and tell you that you're the one he wants ongoingly, unprovoked, and yet they still decide to move mad. Io is like one of those like schoolboys who like doesn't know how to prioritize one babe, and therefore instead of like just focusing on the one, he wants to have multiple slices and eat it. But like, respectfully, this man's in his 20s, he's not 15. It's not the same. You need to shift. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like, and I really hope that Mimi stands her ground and stays away from Ira, because he's no good for her. He's no good for her. She's a 10 out of 10. She has, and she's so, she's just too good for him. There's no other way of saying it. She deserves so much more. And the fact that he will move to her and be like, oh, it's not over yet. Oh God. The fact that he will move to her and be like, oh, it's not over yet. Like, I don't think about you. And she's just rolling her eyes like, I'm actually bored of your shit. I just need the energy to be maintained, because it just isn't. It needs to switch. It needs to progress. It needs to move on. I'm sorry. What else happened in Casa Amor? Oh God. And this, I'm really upset with Sean the sweet man. I actually think Sean is like another example that men can't be trusted, because like, how many babes were you locking lips with, Sean? 2, was it? I just need to emphasize there is a way to get to know people without locking lips. And all the girls did it. All the girls met people and talked to people without having to like smooch. Just having a conversation's enough. Do you know what I mean? You can get energy and vibes off that. Like, I remember like the time when like India went on and she obviously coupled up with Deji. They didn't lock lips. I think they didn't challenges, but other than that, whereas Dami, obviously, God love him, had a bit of fun. But yeah, I want to interview them both one day, so let's keep it tame. But like, there are other ways of doing so, and I think, yeah, I'm really upset with Sean. And I was really rooting for Sean. And like, the thing is, right, Sean proper grafted for Matilda, like proper like wanted to bag her. So for you to move that mad to secure this girl in the first place, to then be, once you see a fresh new sweet, to turn your head, I just think, no, man, come on, find a way. Same with Will and Uma. Will has been so centered around Uma since day dot. So I'm thinking, like, is there something in like Casa Amor water or something? Because it just isn't making sense to me. What else has been going on in Love Island? Do you know what, right? When it comes to Love Island, I really don't enjoy taking the man's side. Let me try again. When it comes to Love Island, I really don't enjoy taking the man's side, but like, I have no choice but to be Kieran, because honestly, like, you can't help but feel sorry for him. Like, Nicole is actually suffocating him. To be honest, nobody would actually blame Kieran if he cut things off, because Kieran can't win no matter what. Nicole is literally like on the edge of her seat waiting to bite constantly, and I get she's insecure and has trust issues, I get that, but Kieran has given Nicole nothing but constant reassurance from day dot, from the jump, so it makes no sense as to why she is ready to bite at any excuse. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just think like she's like a ticking time bomb. Like, no matter what he says or does, she's ready to pounce. And the thing is, all the things that she's getting annoyed about are things that happened prior. And it's very much like this relationship or connection will not last outside the villa or even for the rest of the duration, because like it's almost like Kieran can't say anything without Nicole like just going mad. It's almost like my man's walking on eggshells, and I really don't like to like big up the men or to like support the men too much, because most of them are like just they aren't worth the rep. But like Nicole is making it very difficult for me to subscribe. But yeah, if someone was to say to me at this moment in time, what couples you want to win, I actually couldn't tell you because they're all just morons. Probably Joey and Jesse, which I hate because I don't think Joey Essex should win. He's already got success in reality TV. Give the winning title to people that deserve the crown, and deserve to have like a route into like the industry, because that's what's going to happen. Let's be honest. But yeah, if someone said to me who's the couple that you probably like the most, I'd say Joey and Jesse. And I don't really rate Joey Essex, but that just proves how bad everyone else is. But yeah, so I'm filming Sunday. As in Sunday now. I want to release this on Tuesday. Maybe things on Love Island have dramatically switched. I believe the movie night is tonight. So I don't really know how the only people that can really affect now really are Umar and Will and Matilda and Sean, because if Mimi stands her ground, Io's done for. He's done out. And everyone else, maybe Jesse and Joey, but then they haven't really done anything for there to be any issues. But yeah. So yeah, I'm a sucker for Love Island. I'll be so real. Like I do complain about it so much, but like I do think, how else do I spend my summer nights? What's my alternative? What else do I do? Do you know what I mean? But yeah. And on that note, guys, we are out. Do you know what? I do actually really enjoy these solo chats because like it's quite fun talking to myself for a bit. But then it gets to a point where I feel like I'm either A, repeating myself, or B, haven't spoken for long enough. But we've made it to like, I don't know if this is accurate because I have taken some breaks, but we have made it to like over an hour, which I'm quite impressed with. So if anyone makes it this far, be very surprised. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in. As always, I appreciate the support and the love and coming to the end because it really helps the watch time. My name is Jord Hellwood, and this is the Winning Side podcast. I appreciate anyone that tunes in or watches or shares or comments and subscribes. But if you've made it to the end, I'd really appreciate it if you could like, share, comment, subscribe, and a 5-star rating on Spotify. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the conversation and all the me talking to the camera. Take however you want to phrase it or see it or perceive it. That's on you. And I will be back sooner than later. Have a good afternoon, evening, or later morning, whenever you watch this. I can't really imagine people listening to me in the morning because I'm quite like, I don't know, I don't think I have like a morning soothing voice. Saying that, I would love to do voiceovers, but the people aren't peopling and aren't really like getting back to me as quick as I'd want. But that's because I'm quite impatient. But yeah. Yeah, and to be fair, if anyone makes it this far and they want me to talk about certain things, let me know, because I'm really open to recommendations and suggestions, you know? Help my growth as a content creator and a podcaster and everything else. But yeah, I will see you soon. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. And yeah, we're out. Bye. Okay, Chris, I have half an hour left, so I'm